Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the coolest dog training channel right here on YouTube. I'm Tom Davis, America's Canine Educator. So, first and foremost, I'm going to go live today. Obviously, if you guys have dog training questions, you can leave them below in the comments, whether it's live or not live, because I'll answer them later. So, first and foremost, like this video when you guys get in, and thank you guys so very much for joining me. And I wanted to thank you guys additionally for the 90K. We hit 90,000, over 90. I think we're at 91,000 subscribers right here on YouTube, which is a gigantic deal. I appreciate you guys supporting me. So today I want to talk about my fun adventures to Europe, and I only went to I didn't cover all of Europe. So this video is really about some key components that I took away from Europe and the dog owners and the dog trainers that worked in Europe, because I thought it was really, really, really cool and actually pretty fascinating how the lifestyles are completely different, probably because they made decisions based off of things that may have happened, or bad things that may have happened, or mistakes or what have you. So I want to talk about that. And then, of course, I just wanted to hop on here and just say hello to everybody, just because I've been traveling a lot. We got some new things going on as far as production and how we're processing things. So we're going to be up back in live with multiple videos per week, per usual, before 2020, of course. But anyway, getting right into it, first thing I noticed about Europe is the fact that the muzzles are very heavy. They're enforced, they're used, and what I love about it is it's not a burden, and it's not a bad thing. Where here in the United States and maybe other places in the country, you guys can chime in down in the comments below about this, how you feel. But I feel like a lot of times when I offer people muzzles, or I suggest muzzles to dog owners, they are off put by that, or they're confused by that, or I don't know, maybe I don't know. I think it's just off putting for some people, because muzzles for the majority of dog owners, or even people that aren't dog owners that look at dogs and muzzles, think it's automatically associated with something bad. When what I found in Europe was not that at all, which is really, really cool, which is something I'm really excited to share with you, all the cool things that I learned about that. But basically in Europe, when you go to public things, sightseeing, old cathedrals, churches, going up those big like lifts that bring you up on top of mountains and whatever, castles and things like that. Your dog has to be on a muzzle, and not only that, if they don't have a muzzle, they provide you with a muzzle, or they can sell you with a muzzle, which is something you would never see in the United States. It would either be one of two things. It would be binary. It would be a situation of, hey, your dog can't come in here at all, or your dog doesn't have to be muzzled at all. And so it creates a lot of different scenarios that can go off. So that was something I was really impressed with, that not only did they have these regulations in place to protect probably the dog and people, but it was also really cool because the the organization or the facility that we were at were helping reinforce this, like, hey, you can't go up without this muzzle, and if you don't have one, we'll sell you one, which is really, really cool. I really enjoyed seeing that. And I wanted to talk to you guys about tools here in a little bit, but I thought that was really cool, because like I said, in the United States, it would be, yeah, we don't give a crap what your dog does, bite, growl, whatever, or it would be no dogs allowed. So I feel like that was very progressional as far as being proactive with certain aspects of dogs being coexisting in public. Um, where again, I think in the United States it would just be not. It wouldn't be. I know, because I live here. But anyway, so I want to talk about some other things other than what I saw there. But people were also using muzzles out in the streets, and I ended up talking to a dog owner. And they were basically telling me that their dogs, because there's so many people, Europe and the places that I went to big cities like, Vienna in Austria, Munich, a couple other places in Austria, but I was traveling in big cities. So there were trains, and there were a lot of population, a lot of city living, if you will, a lot of people, a lot of people. And this particular person actually just had the muzzle on because the dog would eat constantly off the ground, which I thought was really cool. So they're just being creative with how they're using that tool and utilizing the tool to not only prevent or predict maybe potentially unpredictable aggressive behavior, or unpredictable people, but it was also being used to just keep the dog safe as a dog. Because with all those tourists and all those people, there's constantly food and whatever else is on the ground. So using a muzzle as you're walking through these big populated areas to keep the dog not sick was something I was like, wow, that's really cool. I don't think I've thought of it that way. I don't think I've looked at it that way. And it was just no big deal to them. So that was something that I really thought was really cool, and how they were utilizing that tool to that advantage instead of what people normally would think muzzles would be used for. The other thing that I thought that was really interesting was the fact that I saw a lot of slip leashes, which would basically be a long leash with a slip at the end. I didn't see a lot of tools, which was really cool, but I also didn't see a lot of pulling dogs. So I saw it was one or the other. It was either really calm dogs walking really nicely on the leash, or then it was like the completely out of control barking dog. But it was interesting to see just how they lived their lifestyle and how they trained, and living in Europe, in those bigger cities, much like any other big country or any other big continent, or even in the United States, just having these really big cities. You have to train differently, just like you would in any big city in anywhere in the world. You'd have to train differently because of the amount of people and the amount of environmentals that you're dealing with. So we saw a lot of different things. I wasn't actually training in Europe because we wanted to focus on a lot of just having fun and drinking beer and things like that. So anyway, so I didn't see one off leash dog. I saw a lot of muzzle utilization for pretty much everything universally with the dog to keep the dog safe, which was really cool. And then we saw a lot of really well behaved dogs. We saw some outbreaks and some crazy dogs, but my experience in Europe watching dogs and their owners was really cool. It was motivating to see how they were using different tools differently. That was pretty cool. So anyway, so if you guys are here, like this video. I'll take some questions really quick, and then I got to pop off. But again, thank you guys so very much for joining me. And I wanted to do this quick video to just say hello and thank you for the 90K and my experiences in Europe with working with dogs, or I'm sorry, seeing dogs and watching their owners work with them. But if anybody has any questions, I could take them now in the answers below, and we will go from there. So let's see. Boop, 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 boop. All right. So was there a law against off-leash dogs? So Blake, when I was in Europe, I didn't see. That's a good question. I don't really know. I didn't see a lot of off-leash dogs, but I did see a lot of people, a lot of signs saying like, "Hey, muzzle your dog during certain attractions," which is really cool. And then whoever just asked about me coming to Europe, I've been trying to work that out. We've been trying to do some stuff in England. But we were just unable to connect as far as venues go, because we need a venue, and it seems like a lot of people in Europe train outside. It's a lot of outdoor training, and for me to come all that way, I want to make sure that we have a good venue for us to work comfortably inside. Schützen work, I didn't get to see any official German Schützen work, but yeah, so the dog parks there, I did see like a couple dog parks, but they were just like huge open spaces, which was really cool. It wasn't really that fenced in. Can muzzling a dog prompt them to act more aggressively because they feel defensiveness? Absolutely. It's a really good question. So if you muzzle a dog and they're not used to it, if you haven't, so what I always suggest to people, if you have a dog that could be, even if you don't have a dog that doesn't like people and you're going to bring them out into public and there's a chance that they could fail because of people, kids, a lot of environmental stressors going on, I always tell people to start the muzzling process at an early age. You can get a Baskerville muzzle. put peanut butter at the other end. Your dog can pop their nose into there. Do that for about a week. Get them really associated with that muzzle really comfortably, and they're associated with something positive, which would be peanut butter, or if it's not peanut butter, it's something else. But just using that, I don't know. So like using that as a very positive thing. But the other thing is you could cut. So the Baskerville muzzle is plastic or rubber. I'm sorry. So you can actually cut the front of it off, and so it makes it really comfortable for the dog to move around, and they get really comfortable with it. And you do a lot of training with that. And then in the future, you can actually put a real one on once you start going that way. But it can definitely shut a dog down if they're not used to it. Any dog with that thing right on their face like this, like Bane type, is going to make them either go into fight or flight. They're going to just like try to run away, or they're going to try to lay down. They're not going to want to do anything. So I would suggest, if you're going to train with a muzzle, or if you're going to go out in public with a muzzle, you're going to have to do a lot of muzzle training to get the dog comfortable with that. So that's something I would recommend. But absolutely, that's normal. It could create and prompt aggressive tendencies because they feel vulnerable, because you basically took away their whole defense mechanism. It's basically blindfolding somebody, putting their arms behind their back, tying it, throwing them into like a mosh pit. You're going to want to get out of there, and you're not going to want to do anything because you can't defend yourself at all. So yeah, that could definitely happen because it makes dogs vulnerable. Again, if you guys haven't yet, like this video, and then I'll take a couple more questions, and then I got to eat some food. Cool. All right. Looks like you guys are, I think it's just, yeah, totally different culture for sure. It's really cool to see. It's actually really inspiring. I was really excited to see how you guys live, and to see how you guys, there's a lot of dog associated world. It was really cool. So as far as me traveling, I've been getting a lot of those questions, and then we'll end from here. As far as me traveling to other places, we are working on a spring tour. We're going to do across the country. We're going to do, I think, 4 or 5 spots. And if I do anything, it's going to be on my Instagram. If you guys haven't yet, follow me on Instagram at Tom Davis. But if I do anything, all of that is going to be posted on there as far as details go. But yes, we are planning on doing a countrywide tour from the East Coast to the West Coast. I think doing 4 or 5 stops, doing 2 stops out in California, or maybe just 1, and then we're going to come back. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I appreciate the support. I'm going to hop off here. And if you guys leave comments in the comments below after this is live, later on tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll get cracking on them. But I just wanted to hop on here, and I know I haven't put a video up in a while, but I wanted to hop on live and just say thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye-bye.